Hello, my name is Prof.Earnest Mohochi, the Registrar Academic Affairs at Kibabii University in Bungoma County. Welcome to Kibabii University and congratulations on your excellent performance in your Form 4 examinations, which earned you a spot in Kibabii University. You will remember that there were very many of you who sat for that examination, but only a portion of that qualified to be admitted to the university system. I therefore want to very briefly encourage you to remember why you are here and what you want to achieve at the end of your stay here. This being the first time we are interacting, I wish to perhaps deal more specifically with what the Academic Affairs Department does and how it will impact your stay here. The Department of Academic Affairs, which I head, is responsible for a lot of functions dealing with the academic issues of students at Kibabii University, as is the situation in other universities. At Kibabii, the setup of the department is as follows. We have the Office of the Registrar, which has myself and 2 other staff. But then, besides that, we have 3 other sections, each with specific functions relevant to your stay here. The first is the section that handles admissions and students registry, which is headed by a deputy registrar called Michael Maleche. That is a department that has been dealing with you directly since you started reporting on Monday. It handles issues to do with your registration, admission, and ensuring that you settle down for your studies. The other department is the Department of Examinations, which is headed by an Assistant Registrar Examinations, Mr. Joseph Karanja. Lastly, we have a section of teaching facilities, which is headed by Mr. David Chebon. The teaching facilities section also handles programs. So in full, it's referred to as programs and teaching facilities. The officers heading those different sections will give you details on what exactly happens in each of the sections to give you a better understanding of the department at large. However, before inviting them, I wish to indicate that it would be very useful to you to ensure that you keep very close to the department. Because as indicated, it receives you in the university when you get here. It works with you by way of keeping your records, tracking your performance all the way, and ultimately prepares you for graduation. But even after graduation, you will still need services of the Academic Affairs Department, because that is the department that handles your certificates and final transcripts. So it would be good for you right from the word go to have a good understanding of the functions, the people involved, so that any time during your stay here, then you are able to know where to seek assistance. I therefore want to start by inviting the Deputy Registrar, Mr. Michael Maleche, to talk about admissions and students registry. Thank you. Na karibuni sana.
I want to thank the registrar for that introduction. And once again, I would like to welcome all new students to Kibabii University. I would like to give a presentation on the functions of admissions and student registry section. First of all, I'll introduce my staff. In the section, we are 6 staff, 6 officers, who include myself, Mr. Michael Maleche. We have Ms. Faith Masika. We have Ms. Praxidis Lusambili. We have Ms. Jacqueline Murabwa, Ms. Caroline Sikolia, and Ms. Wilkista Akinyi. These are staff who officers of the university whom you may have already interacted with through telephone, WhatsApp, through the admission letters that you may have downloaded already from our website. Now, I'd like to present to you 13 functions of the admissions and student registry section. The first function is a function on student admission. This is something which you may have already experienced. The section receives applications from students, and we process through the university system and send out admission letters. For COOP students, those are government-sponsored. Their admission started from their high schools, where you submitted your applications to places in universities. And once we received the selections from COOPs, our section processed your admission letters. So we send out the admission letter and the student handbook. We also process admissions for private-sponsored students who include the undergraduate, bachelor students, diploma, certificate, master's and PhD students. Another function of our section, the admission student registry section, is we prepare advertisements, we do school visits, we attend exhibitions where we advertise the university, we market our programs, and it's also a means by which you may have come to have known Kibabii University. The third function of the section involves registration of students. Now, registration in your case will start on 7th of September and will run up to 13th September. So registration of students involves, our registration this year is going to be online. So if you will go to our Kibabii University website, you will find a slot where you log in. You log in for online registration. And then you will be informed on that site to scan and upload certain documents. These documents include you scan your KCSE result slip, you scan your ID card, and those who may not have ID cards, you will scan your birth certificate. International students will scan their passports and their other qualifications. Other documents to be scanned include the admission letter. So once you scan, you upload on that site that will be provided. Then you will also scan and forward several documents. These documents include the forms from KIBU 1. KIBU 1 is the letter of acceptance, where you say, I'm accepting the offer of admission at Kibabii University. KIBU 2 is the student declaration. In this student declaration, you are declaring, you're bonding yourself to Kibabii University to be of good discipline. Then KIBU 3 is the student personal details. You scan and upload student personal details, has all your biodata. Then KIBU 4 is the entrance medical examination form. This one where you take to the a medical institution where they do some tests on you. After uploading these scanned documents, you'll also have to pay fees in the university bank accounts. These bank details have been provided in our fee structures, and payment of fees is crucial in that payment of fees will complete your process of registration. So you'll be required to pay fees. Fees, as we informed you in our handbook, you'll get your fees from your parents, guardians. Then there is the HELP application, which we informed you. So I would like to encourage all students that they should complete the HELP application forms and send to HELP. Other institutions that offer funding to students are COPET, NAT, that's if your parents are employees of TSC. Then we have county government, the CDFs. County governments also give some funding to students to pay fees. Then we have also some NGOs that help students pay in meeting their fees. Once you pay fees, we have the next step of registration is online course registration. At that site where you've been uploading the documents, and after we have the information that you paid the fees, there'll be a slot, there'll be an icon there which you press in for online course registration. Now you will be given directions by the ICT Directorate and the faculty on how you'll be applying for your courses. Normally, the courses may range between 8 to 9 courses in a semester. The fourth function of the student admissions and registry section is that we facilitate the orientation program. It's a program which we're having like now. We facilitate this program. And our orientation program runs from today, 14th of September, to 23rd of September. Then the next function is we process the inter-university transfer applications. This function has already taken place. The function of inter-university transfer is usually done in collaboration with KUPS. The sixth function is processing of applications for inter and intra-faculty stroke school transfers. This means if a new student wants to change a program which they feel they may not be their aspiration, we give an allowance of 3 weeks within which one can apply, and then we process the application. Now for KUPS students, the first step is they'll have to confirm on the KUPS website whether they are qualifying for the program they want to do. So they check whether they meet the cutoffs. After they have confirmed the cutoff, there is a form, Form Kibabii AC/F/008, which they'll have to fill and complete and then submit. The same applies to our private students. Then the university will process, and the process involves confirming whether there is vacancy and confirming whether the student qualifies. So after that is through, the university will inform you those who have qualified for a change. The seventh function of the section involves deferment. Deferment is when a student will want to stop studies maybe for a semester or an academic year because of certain reasons. The reasons may be financial, maybe they don't have fees, maybe medical, maybe they have to attend for some medical issues, or it may be because of maybe compassionate, maybe somebody in the family passed away and they could not continue until a certain date. So there is a certain form Kibabii AC/F/009, which one will have to sign and complete through the stages and submit. Then the eighth function is readmission. Readmission to the university is a process where maybe a student deferred because of the reasons I stated in number 7, and now they want to come back and continue. There may be other reasons. For example, a student maybe the place of work, they could not get the leave. So now they're applying to come back. Or maybe due to reasons like discipline, maybe a student was suspended and now they're coming back to continue after the suspension. The ninth function of the student admissions and registry section is we open your student file, and we maintain both a hard file and we maintain an electronic file. So when I talk of a file, your file contains all your personal details, all your documents, your name, where you come from, who are your parents, which former school you went to, all your qualifications, copies of your KCSE results, everything. Any communication between you and the university is kept in that file. The file is a hard copy file. It also is an electronic file in our electronic system. So we maintain that throughout your duration in the university. Then the 10th function of the section is we prepare your student ID card. The student ID card, there is the photo. The photo, we will use the photo that you send us, the JPG photo that you sent us to prepare your student ID card before you report. Maybe those who may have not taken that photo will have to prepare and send their photos on our email as we provided. The 10th function is to coordinate the clearance from the university. After you have finished your program, if it's a degree program, a diploma, a certificate, a master's or a PhD, and you are set for graduation, there is the procedure of clearance. So our office coordinates that procedure. After you have completed all stages of clearance, we keep the information in your file and in our electronic system that you have cleared. The 12th function of the section is we prepare all statistical data concerning students. Data, statistics, the number of students, we try to categorize if male, female, first year, second year, third year, which degree program, education arts, education science, Bachelor of Science, computer science, Bachelor of Criminology, we have all statistics. So we maintain statistics, which we share with any institution that requires. Then the last function is that we are secretariat to the Student Disciplinary Committee. Student Disciplinary Committee, as stated, disciplinary, deals with student discipline. Now, if you look at our student handbook, there is the section on rules and regulations governing the conduct of students. I would recommend that you read that section properly. In that section, in the handbook, you will find the issues on conduct of students, how you conduct yourself. It can be on campus, off campus, online, how you conduct yourself. It gives the regulations concerning living. Then it also states offenses. What offenses? Are they criminal offenses? And then finally it gives disciplinary action. What can be meted out as an action? Now, just to conclude, we have to mention two other issues. There is some important dates and important information which we would like our students also to keep in mind. The important dates is that every semester we always have an opening date, registration period, and that registration period will run for what we call 20%. 20% is roughly 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So we always have that every semester. In that period of registration, which runs for 3 weeks, we call it 20%, as all students are expected to have paid all their fees and have registered their courses for that semester. Then after that, you attend your lectures, and then we have the examination period. Now, when I talk about semesters, our university runs on the semester mode. And semester, we divide a year into 2. Maybe in high school, your year was divided into 3, first term, second term, third term. But in university, we divide it into first semester, second semester. And then we have a vacation. Now, the vacation period, students can be attached on attachment at a certain institution where they have some programs, intern programs. And another important information, finally, is about fee payment. As I stated earlier, fees are to be paid within the first 3 weeks of the semester. That is before the end of the 3rd week. That will complete a student's registration. Online, it will allow you to attend the lectures, go to class, borrow books from the library, sit for cards. Then when the examination comes, you will be on a list we call a class list. Class list is an electronic list. the class list, and then there will be a list called exam attendance register. So once you pay fees, the ERP system will capture that you have cleared and you'll have been reported on the ERP system. So I have finished my presentation. I want to thank you, students, and I look forward to being with you for the rest of your duration. Some of you will be with us for 4 years, some for 2 years, some for 3 years, some for 1 year, depending on the program. So thank you.
The second section that I'd want you to learn more about is programs and teaching facilities, which is headed by Mr. David Chebon. Welcome, Mr. Chebon.
Okay, my name is David Chebon, the in-charge programs and teaching facilities in the Academic Affairs Department. The mandate of the section is to facilitate the process of development and review of academic programs and ensure suitability of teaching and learning facilities in the university. It also plays a leading role in preparations for graduation ceremonies in the university. In the department, we have 2 members of staff, Ms. Demtila Wanjala, Senior Administrative Assistant, and Ms. Rachel Wangeshi, an Administrative Assistant. Kibabii University prides itself with the following market-driven programs housed in faculty/schools. Under Faculty of Education and Social Sciences, we have the following bachelor's programs. Bachelor of Education Science, we have Bachelor of Education Arts, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Journalism and Mass Communication, Bachelor of Criminology, and Bachelor of Social Work. We also have Master's program. We have Master of Arts in History, Master of Arts in Religion, and Master of Arts in Comparative Literature. We have Master of Education in Economics and Management of Education, and Educational Management and Policy Studies. We also offer Doctor of Philosophy programs, which include Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Planning and Management, Doctor of Philosophy in Economics and Management of Education, and Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Management and Policy Studies. In the Faculty of Science, we offer the following undergraduate programs: Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Economics and Resource Management, Bachelor of Science Mathematics, Bachelor of Science in Bioresource Conservation and Management, Bachelor of Science in Renewable Energy and Biofuels Technology, Bachelor of Science in Physics, Bachelor of Science in Biology, Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Biotechnology. We also offer master's programs in the following areas: Master of Science in Statistics, Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Master of Science in Pure Mathematics, Master of Science in Physics, and Master of Science in Chemistry. The university also offered Doctor of Philosophy programs in the following areas: Doctor of Philosophy in Physics, Doctor of Philosophy in Statistics, Doctor of Philosophy in Pure Mathematics, and Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Mathematics. In the School of Business and Economics, we have the following bachelor's programs: Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Business Management. We also have master's programs. We have Master of Business Administration and Management and Master of Science in Human Resource Management. In the School of Computing and Informatics, we offer the following bachelor's programs: Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. We have Master's program in Master of Science in Information Technology and Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology. Kibabii University prides itself in initiating and developing new programs. Kibabii University, in its growth trajectory, has initiated and developed new programs in response to market demands. The following are the programs that are being developed: 2 bachelor's programs, 6 master's, and 2 PhD programs. These programs have been taken through curriculum development process, which include stakeholder participation, culminating into approval by Senate, and the following 4 programs. The following 3 programs were accredited by the Commission for University Education in the academic year 2019-2020. Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship and Cooperatives Management, Master of Education in Kiswahili, and Master of Business Administration and Management with IT. There are programs that have been submitted to Q for accreditation, and they include the following: Bachelor of Science in Nursing, which was submitted on 17th June 2020, Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, submitted to Q on 17th June 2020, Master of Science in Digital Security and Forensics, that was submitted on 17th June 2020, Master of Arts in Kiswahili, submitted to Q on 17th June 2020, Master of Science in Computer Science, submitted on 18th February 2019, and PhD in Kiswahili, submitted on 17th June 2020, and PhD in Business Administration, which was submitted on 17th June 2020. The university is in the process of launching the accredited programs. Under teaching facilities, the university has fully furnished lecture rooms with mounted LCD projectors and whiteboards, and also adequate lecture chairs. It boasts itself of well-equipped laboratories and workshops. There are also offices for both teaching and administrative staff within the academia block. Programs and teaching facilities prepares graduation ceremonies for the university. The university has held 4 graduation ceremonies so far since it was awarded its charter on 14th November 2015. The section has been instrumental in preparations of these ceremonies by organizing meetings for the graduation ceremonies committee. Okay, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all our first-year students to the university, and we want to inform you that Kibabii University is the place to be for your undergraduate program.
Lastly, we have the examinations section headed by Mr. Joseph Karanja. Mr. Karanja, please indicate to our students what your section does in the university.
My name is Joseph Kamau Karanja, Assistant Registrar in charge of examination. We also have Raydon Nandwa, that is our machine operator. He is in charge of all duties that pertains to the production of examination and also doing the minor maintenance of our machines. Lastly, we have Tekla Osianju. She is our office administrator, and she is in charge of all documentations in our office and maintenance of records and documents. Examinations are an important part of university experience, and Kibabii University takes this process very seriously. Now, I know that you have gone through examinations in the past, but maybe it's important for us to define what an examination is. It is an assessment, written, oral, or observed, that is taken into account in evaluating final results in a course or program. We have several types of examinations, but that will be done later. This department in charge of examination has 4 functions, and I will mention them generally. The first one is administration of examination. Administration of examination starts from the very moment that an examination is set, all through moderation, until the point at which a student sits for the examination. The second step, processing of examination, starts from the moment that marking is done. After marking, there is external moderation, and all the way to the end of processing of marks. So when the marks are ready, we can say that processing of examination is through. The third general function of the department, which is preparation and issuance of transcripts and certificates, come when those marks are now put together, the process marks are put together into one document. This is the document that probably can be equated to what in high school was the report form or something like that. So the transcript has all the grades that you scored for that semester. Your schools and your schools and faculties will give you provisional transcripts. Then the examination department will, in the end, give you the academic transcript that is final. The fourth function is handling students' examinations irregularities. I know this will not apply to all of you because I believe you are good students and you're not going to engage in exam irregularities. But for those few who may be involved, that function will apply to them. Let us go to types of university examinations. The first one is called continuous assessment tests. This one is done during the semester or during the trimester. It accounts for 30 marks of the final examination. It also includes sit-ins, takeaways, term papers, and such. The second type of examination is the regular examination. This is the final written end of course examination. It accounts for 70% of the total marks for diploma, undergraduates, and certificates, and 60% for postgraduate programs. The third type of examination is special examination. This one is granted to a student based on special circumstances, such as medical, compassionate, national duty, or such. The final marks for special examination will include CATs and regular examination. So this special examination is for a student who, for those reasons listed, may not have sat for the regular examination. Then we have supplementary examination. This examination is granted on academic grounds of a student who has failed in the course of the first attempt. This exam will constitute a maximum of 40% and does not include the cut mark. The score will have an asterisk. The next type of examination is a repeat of examinations. This examination shall be offered to a student who has failed a supplementary examination. If I may remind you, I said that the first exam you did was regular examination. If you fail the first time, you are given supplementary examination. But now if you fail in that supplementary examination, that is when you are given this examination called repeat of examination. This exam will constitute 100% and will include cut marks. The score will have 2 asterisks on the final transcript. Now, let us look at the grading of examinations. As you all know, in your previous level of education, you had the grades, A-, B+, D-, and all that. In the university, it's a bit different, and the grading of examination is as I'm about to say. This grading is divided into 2. We have grading for all schools, faculties, and centers, except medical sciences, and we also have grading system for medical sciences. Let us start with the grading system for all schools, faculties, and centers, except medical sciences. 70% and above, that is A. 60 to 69, that is B. 50 to 59, that is C. 40 to 49, that is D. And below 40, that is fail. For medical sciences and graduate studies, and by graduate studies I mean postgraduate diploma, master's and PhD, 75 and above is A, 65 to 74 is B, 50 to 64 is C, and you note a difference here that fail starts from 50. The next and a very important part in this examination is examination rules and regulations. Kibabii University define, among other things, the requirement, the time, the procedure, and the process of examination. Somebody may wonder, why do we need to have rules and regulations? Well, this is not because of punishing or intention of bringing any problem. No, no, no. The very first reason is because we want to put in place a credible and efficient system for the conduct of examinations. We also put these rules and regulations in place to ensure the smooth and orderly exercise, as well as to safeguard the security and integrity of all examinations. We don't want to give you certificates that will be doubted. We want to give you a certificate that if you present it anywhere in the world, it will be considered as a quality paper. We also do this to ensure that assessment sessions provide an opportunity for you as a student to demonstrate what you've learned in your courses. Under rules and regulations, the most important thing you must note are assessment requirements. Assessment requirements are those things that will determine whether you will sit for the examinations or not. And I wish to emphasize that these are very important. The very first one is that you must attend end of semester examinations and or any other examinations for which you are registered during your course. All students must also hand in required coursework assignments. A student with sufficient course can miss an assessment, but under circumstances that will be taken into account by the course lecturer or department. In short, I'm saying you cannot just decide to miss an assessment. If you miss an assessment, it has to be under circumstances that the course lecturer or department have taken into account. Also, if a student has registered for a course but fails to take the examination for which they are eligible to sit without sufficient course, the student shall be deemed to have failed the course. Then number 5, a student who fails to submit continuous assessment tests without sufficient course shall not be allowed to sit for regular examinations. All students are required to present for scheduled examinations unless authorized otherwise. And I must also state that examinations will be conducted during allocated times. This will be shown in the examination timetable. Note as a student that it is your responsibility to ensure that you know the correct course, the correct date, time, and location of all examinations. So we are saying that you cannot fail to sit for an exam and then you tell us that you did not know the time, you did not know the date and all that. Since we have already issued you with the examination timetable, it is your responsibility to know where is this course, where is the exam for this course done and all that. Students must be prepared to identify themselves. Remember, I mentioned about integrity. We want to ensure that you, the person who attended class, is the one who is sitting for examination. So you'll be required to identify yourself using photograph or identification card or any other that you may be required to show. Missing an examination may affect a student's progression to the next year of study. So if you miss, the number of years you're supposed to take for a degree, for a diploma or a master's can be affected. Then, very important here, examination offenses are extremely serious and the university takes serious view of cheating. And this will be discussed later. A candidate who is suspected of cheating in examination is liable for disciplinary action. And as I said earlier, again, this will be discussed in a little bit more details later. Under rules and regulations, we also have admission in examinations. And I must note that only authorized persons are allowed to enter examination venue. And when I say authorized, I mean students that have registered and met all course requirements. All students are expected to be at designated venue at least 30 minutes before the commencement of the examination. Students are responsible for arriving on time for scheduled examinations, and they are also required to present a valid Kibu photo or Kibabii University photo identification card or any other acceptable form of identification. Students who arrive late for any written examination paper, but before 30 minutes, and I want to note you here, if you are late for exam, but you arrive within 30 minutes, then you'll be allowed to sit for the paper. But note that you will not be given extra time to compensate for that time you came late. However, if a student or if you arrive after 30 minutes have elapsed, then you will not be allowed to sit for the examination. And also, unless authorized by the invigilator, no reference material or electronic devices shall be allowed in the examination. And when I say electronic devices, it includes the very common mobile phone. Now, we have another section which is very, very important, and I would request you to be very keen on this one, because many students have had very difficult time because of examination misconduct. But I know, as I said earlier, that you are good students and you not engage in examination misconduct. What is an examination misconduct? Now, this is any act that violates Kibabii University examinations policy, Kibabii University guidelines and procedures, and these rules and regulations shall constitute an examination misconduct. Now let us look at those conducts that will be considered as examination misconduct so that you can avoid them as much as you can. The first one is writing on examination question paper. The second one is unauthorized absence from the examination venue. The third one is having unauthorized material in an examination venue. And you remember I had mentioned that this unauthorized material includes electronic devices that are not required, like mobile phones. It can be written materials, it can be notes and all that. It is also an examination misconduct to copy, either to copy from another person, to copy from a written wall. Any form of copying is considered as examination misconduct. Then the next one is reading answer scripts that belong to another candidate. Carrying examination scripts or answer sheets outside the examination venue is also an examination misconduct. Obtaining assistance from another candidate or even non-candidate, or on the other hand, giving assistance to another candidate, whether directly or indirectly, is an examination misconduct. Also, permitting another candidate to copy from or make use of your paper is considered as an examination misconduct. The other misconduct is threatening, intimidating invigilators, or obstructing the invigilator from carrying out his or her duties. We have another examination misconduct, which is presenting for examination the works of another person without acknowledgement or with intent to deceive. And I must point out that this is even more common for those who are doing research. There are those people who can just take research that belong to somebody else, then just change a few things and present them as your own. That is an examination misconduct. Destroying evidence that may be used as proof of an examination irregularity is also a misconduct. Here we are talking about somebody who has been found with an examination misconduct, and for some reasons he decides to swallow the whole evidence. That is a misconduct, and it will be considered unpunishable and is punishable. The next thing is causing actual bodily harm to the invigilators. That is an examination misconduct. Refusing to write a statement after being asked to do so by the invigilator is an examination misconduct. And committing a subsequent offense after serving a suspension is also a misconduct. The next one is bribery. Maybe you are found committing an examination misconduct and you try to bribe to compromise. That is we consider as misconduct. Impersonating or attempting to impersonate another candidate is an examination misconduct. Forgery of examination documents, and by documents I mean it can be examination card, it can be a transcript, any of those documents. If you are found to have forged them, then you'll be considered as somebody who has an examination misconduct. Then possessing while in the examination venue any device that permits communication, either by receiving or sending, is an examination misconduct. And I said the most common here is mobile phone. We also have some watches these days that are communicating. So any gadget of communication is not allowed in the examination venue. Then we also have unauthorized or undeclared acquisition of examination papers prior to examination. That is leakage. You are not supposed to acquire or to have or to see or even to be aware of content of an examination before the date. If that happens, that is leakage, and that is an examination misconduct. We also have another one, which is failure to produce an examination card. Remember I told you under the requirements of assessment that you are supposed to identify yourself. So if you are asked or requested by the invigilator in charge or any other member of staff in charge to produce an examination card and you refuse or you fail to do so, that will be considered as an examination misconduct. Then sitting for examination without paying fees is an examination misconduct. Also, if you proceed to the next academic year without fulfilling the requirements of the previous academic year, then the university considers that as an examination misconduct. And there is also any emerging evidence of cheating or falsification of examination results, being awarded a certificate, diploma, or degree fraudulently. If we find you with a degree, diploma, certificate, or any of those documents that we issue, and we find out that we did not give it using the right procedure, then that is an examination misconduct. Now, I have listed quite a number, we've discussed quite a number of examination misconducts. And somebody may ask himself or herself, what will happen if I do, or if I'm found to have done any of the above? And the answer is very simple, that there will be penalties for failure or breaching any of the examination misconducts. And I want to say that I hope that none of us is going to come to this. Much as I'm discussing with you, I'm confident that, as I have said several times, you are good students and you will not engage in examination misconduct. If in an unfortunate situation, you will have been found to have breached any of the examination misconducts, there are a number of penalties that range from warning letter to all the others. But before I say that, I want to say that before you face the penalties, there will be a process. And that process is called disciplinary process. And it has to be proved that the allegations are correct, and you'll be given an opportunity to defend yourself. The penalties will range from a warning letter to cancellation of examination, whether continuous assessment test or the regular examination or supplementary or any of them. The penalty can also be cancellation of results for the whole semester. Sometimes it can be cancellation of results for the whole academic year. It can be suspension from the university for a period ranging from 1 academic year to 3 academic years. That is, it can be 1 academic year, it can be 2 academic year, it can be 3 academic years. And sometimes it is serious. You can be expelled from the university. Expulsion from the university means our contract with you will come to an end. And as I've told you severally, examination is a very serious thing. It is something that can make you shine all the way in your life, but it is also something that, if you don't take it seriously, can have a negative effect in your life. So the next one is reduction of marks originally awarded. We can also institute criminal charges against you. Remember, I mentioned that if we find you, for example, with our certificate or transcript or any document that you have forged or you have acquired fraudulently, there are times that we can, over and above punishing you, institute criminal charges against you. This means taking you to court. And we also have a combination of penalties defined above. Those penalties I've discussed above are not mutually exclusive. We have some that can go on concurrently. For example, you can be expelled, and at the same time, there are charges instituted against you in a criminal court. So examination is a very important part of university experience, I must repeat, and Kibabii University takes this process very seriously. As I come to the end, I want to remind you the words of C.S. Lewis, and he said that integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. I want to encourage you to always do the right thing. If you do the right thing even when no one is watching, then you'll have a very, very enjoyable life in Kibabii University.
Yeah, after getting to know the different sections and their functions in detail, I'd like to wrap it up so that you have a complete picture of what we expect of you as Academic Affairs Department. But before doing that, allow me an opportunity to congratulate you once again for your performance in the 2019 KCSE examination. It is an effort that is worth remembering, and we congratulate you most heartily. Now, I just want to indicate to you that this puts you at a position of privilege. And let me use a few statistics to indicate what I'm saying. In 2018, we had 642,000 candidates doing the KCSE examination. Out of those, it's only 96,000 who managed to get a C+ and above, and therefore earn an opportunity to join our universities. In your year, that is 2019, that number went up to 679,000, an increase of around 30,000. Similarly, the number of those who qualified went up from 96 to 125. But I want you to focus on the difference between 679,000 and 125,000 who got C+ and above. That puts you at a point of privilege, which getting back to your individual positions from the national level, I am sure you remember how many you were in school and how many managed to qualify to join the university. And so I want you to take this as an opportunity worth grabbing and working towards ensuring success. Your main purpose in the university should be academics. Of course, we acknowledge the fact that for holistic development of a human being, you also need others, the social interactions, you need the spiritual nourishment, you need sports for your physical health, etc. But just as you do all these other things, keep it in mind that your parents took you to school, your guardians assisted you all through so that you can succeed academically. So that should be your main focus. With that in mind, I'm sure you will be able, therefore, to go through the 4 years here successfully. The outside world is becoming increasingly competitive, and therefore, what you do here will have a very big role to play in what you ultimately become in future. Jobs are no longer there for the taking. It is a struggle. As a result, employers will be very keen on the quality of your grades. And I'm saying this at this very first meeting because unlike in the secondary school, the quality of the document you get here starts from the very first course that you will be enrolled in. So my plea to you is to focus on education, which is the main reason for you being here. In the university setup, there are specifics in terms of the duration of study for the different levels. You are enrolling for a degree course. That will therefore take you 4 years. There are those who are coming in for a certificate. They will take a year. Those doing diploma will take 2 to 3 years. A master's takes 2, a PhD takes 3. But the difference between education here and what you are used to in the secondary school is that unlike the secondary school where the final exam is cumulative,
so much.